Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here today on the day two of the Project Learn workshop. So today we would be taking you forward with the advanced effects, and I hope you have practiced what Ishani spoke to you yesterday, guided you yesterday. I'm going to quickly hand over the stage to Ishani. She would be talking about the advanced effects. She would talk about the Spark Air policies and tell you how to publish your effects. So all the best. I hope you all have the submission link with you. Just in case you don't have, I'm going to post it again. And please start creating your AR effects and try to submit it as soon as possible. Right. So hi Shani, welcome back.
Hello.
Yeah. So the stage is all yours.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us in the second day of this workshop. So, I'll quickly just do a recap of what we did yesterday. All right. So, yesterday we learned how to install Spark AR, how to start with Spark AR, what are the different parts of the studio, what is a simulator, what is a scene panel, asset panel, etc. And we learned how to make this basic AR face filter. Okay. So today we are going to be working on a little bit more advanced features, and I'll tell you how you can make your your effects more immersive and more interactive. So to begin with, we will start with something known as the patch editor, which is a very important part of Spark here, because patch editor is something that allows you to make your effects more interactive, and it's basically something so important that without the patch editor you cannot make most of the AR effects. So where do we get this patch editor? So there are options here, file, edit, etc., etc. So what we do is we just go to view, and there are you will see options such as show patch editor, show console, etc. So we're just going to go ahead and click on show patch editor. So you'll see a little bit of sort of a footer line will appear in the bottom. So I'm just going to increase this, and this is what we call as a patch editor. Currently it's completely blank because we haven't added any patches yet, but we'll start working on it soon. So to begin with, let's just say this is the galactic face filter which I made yesterday. This is very, I would say, a very basic one with only 2D objects. So let's go ahead and try with some 3D objects, as such as probably some sort of a UFO that is looping around her head. So let's go ahead and try that. So to get 3D assets, there are two options. Either you can, if you know how to use any 3D software tools such as Maya or Blender, etc., you can make your own 3D assets, reduce the triangles, that means reduce the size of the 3D objects, and export it in terms of DAE files, and then import it in Spark AR. Otherwise, the most easiest thing which most people do is just you can go ahead and search in the asset library, and you'll find thousands of 3D objects available which you can directly import it in your Spark AR. So we had talked about AR library yesterday. So I'm just going to go ahead and search for a UFO in the 3D objects. Okay. So when I searched for UFO, I found so many 3D models. These are basically 3D models made by other amazing creators, and we have put their works here. And this is mostly by Sketchfab, and some of them are from Spark AR. So I'll just say that I like this UFO. I find it particularly cute. And what you do is when you click on this particular the asset, you will get some specifications about what is the description, what are the specifications, how many vertices it has, what geometry, lights, views. So how do we import it? Is there's an option here called import free, and you just click on it, and it will directly be available in the asset panel. All right. So it's already there. I'm just going to shut the screen, And here we have this cute little UFO and beautiful UFO. Okay. So I just click on the drop down, and there are some things that would appear. So the round circles which are here is actually called the materials. So these are the materials of uh, the objects and the parts of which the UFO it has been used, and these are the textures. But what we exactly need is the 3D model. And how do we get that 3D model? So you see this little cube beside the text. This is where exactly the 3D model is. So what we do is we just go and drag it to our scene panel. Yes. And when I dragged it to the scene panel, you'll see there's a really huge UFO that has appeared on the viewport now. So we don't want such a big UFO. So what we'll do is we'll just reduce the size of this. And yeah, so in the property panel, in the inspector panel, there is options for transformation, and I'm just going to reduce the scale. Let's just say I'll make it 0.2, 0.2, and 0.2. Okay, so I still feel that it is very big, so I am going to make it 0.005, 0.005, and 0.005. Now they are probably too small. Okay, so this might take a little bit of time, but you need to get it right. Still too small. Okay, I think we can work with this. Okay, so I think this is of a decent size and we can work with this. So let's just go ahead and try and make it, loop around her head. So for that, what we need to do is, um, okay, okay. So what we'll do is, let's just go ahead, we'll just bring the patch editor here, and to make it loop around her head, we need a looping animation patch. So you just left click on this and search for loop animation and click on add patch. Okay. So this is this little small box which appeared here. We call it as a patch. For next we need is a transition patch. Okay. And what we need is we want to make it rotate, right? So let's just make it 0 here first. Nope, that is better. Uh, let's just, okay. For first of all, let's just focus on this looping animation and transition patch. So there are some options here such as enable, duration, reset, mirrored, and in transition there are some options such as progress, start, end, curve, etc. So what we do is, how does this patch work is that we connect the nodes of these patches to make the particular effect interactive as such. So I'll just connect progress of the looping animation patch to the progress of the transition patch. And you can see there are some numbers running here. So currently we don't have anything attached to the transition patch. I mean, we don't know what aspect of the transformations we want to create an animation. So let's just go ahead and click on the rotation patch. Okay, so what I did here is that there are some small arrows, you can see some nodes. So if you click, when I just hover on my mouse on top of this, it turns yellow. And if I click on this, it would create a patch for rotation. Okay. So now you can see there is no rotation happening because we have not given it that a particular value as to what and where, how it should rotate. So if I make it minus 90 here, and see, you can see that when I just made the starting of this minus 90, it's just rotating like 90-degree from the start and it's ending here. So I'll just make this maybe 180 and we'll see how this works. Okay. So when I made this 180, you can see it's starting from minus 90 and making an overall turn and then coming back to 180. So I don't want anything here. So I'll just make it 0 here and 0. Let's just start with 0 degrees here first and make it 359. Okay. Well, I don't like how this animation is going, so I'm just going to go ahead and maybe, work on something else, some other aspect of the transformations. Okay. So what we can do is go ahead and try and see what the scale patch has to do. So I'm just going to create a scale patch for this and we will connect it. And let's just make it 000 for everything. Okay. So now you can see that there is no UFO on top of her head. That is because we have given values for starting and ending all as 0, 0. So we need to give it a start value and an ending value as to where it should start and where it should stop scaling. So I'll just copy my original value, that is 0.05, 0.05 and 0.05. So now you can see it's starting from 0.05, but it's reducing the size to 0. So I don't want that. So I'm just going to click on 0.0 or maybe 0.75, and it's 0.75 and 0.75. Okay. So I don't like how, wait a second. Okay. 0.75 and 0.75. Okay. So now it's actually making it really big. So we don't want values that are too far from each other. So let's just go and do 0.06, 0.06 and 0.06. Okay, so I think it is scaling it a bit, but we can maybe work with 0.07 also. 0.07, 0.07. Okay. So I think it is of a decent value, but you can see it's just like scaling up and coming down in a very small span of time. So I don't want it to happen that quickly. So I can just increase the duration to maybe 3 seconds, and it will take around 3 seconds to scale up and then come back. There's an option called mirrored here. So if you just click it, it's going to go back and it'll mirror itself and come back very swiftly. So it won't happen very suddenly, so that it's very soothing to the eyes of the user. Okay. So I think the size is pretty decent. I'm just going to put it a little bit down. So what we can do is, there is an option here called local. If you click on it, it becomes global, and then you can just put it directly a little bit down. So what will happen if I click local and put it down is that when I just click local and put it down, the arrows are are already constrained to the x, y, and z coordinates of the particular object. So it would just take me, for example, if the z-axis is in 45 degrees, it would, and if I try and take it down, it would go in this direction in 45 degrees. So, and if I just switch to global, it would give me a unanimous, a whole value of this, and then you can just easily put it down to a proper place. Okay. So that's with the patch editor. Patch editors are more complicated, and as you start working with more and more AR, you will understand the value of it. This was a very basic patch we created today. So let's go and try something with the background of this particular effect. Okay, so to change or maybe edit the background, what we need to do is we need to play around with the camera texture and the segmentation of this effect. So what we'll do is there's an option called camera here, and there are options here such as enable tags, texture extraction, camera depth extraction, and segmentation. If you just click on the texture extraction, you will see there's a little camera texture asset created under the textures in the asset panel. Similarly, if I just click on segmentation, it would give me options such as person, hair, and skin. So, what is person, hair, and skin segmentation is that if you click on person, then the entire effect would have a different background, but the person who is using, the user who is in front of the camera, would be separated. Similarly, for hair and skin, it would affect the hair and skin similarly. Okay, so let's just go ahead and click on the person segmentation, and I will just rename it to person. Okay, so what we do is, okay, let's go ahead and make a little, let's create a canvas, and then we'll take a rectangle to it. Okay, so you can see there's a little checkered box that appeared on the screen, and we'll make it fill the whole screen. So I just click here and select fill width, click here and select fill height, and now you can see the whole checkered box has been appeared, but the UFO is still on top of it because the hierarchy of this particular the UFO model is on top of the checkerboard, because the UFO, the object, is on top of the face tracker. Okay, so I'll select the rectangle which we made today, and we'll click on material, and we'll select a new material. Okay, so now there's a standard basic gray color material, but I want some sort of astronomical galactic background to come here. So I already have my assets downloaded, so I'll just click on texture, I'll create a new texture, and I will go ahead and click on this. Okay, so now you can see the galactic background has appeared, but the person or the user is still not in the scene. So what we do is there's an option here called alpha. So we just click on it, and there's an option here texture, and we select the person segmentation from here. Okay. So now what has happened is that the galactic background effect is appearing on the person. So I told you that when you segment the person, the hair or the skin, whatever background or whatever plane or the rectangle you have created, it would segment that the person, the hair or the skin, and it would appear only on those parts. So we don't want the person to be of this shape. So I'm just going to click on invert, and now you can see that the person is on front of the camera and the background has this effect. Okay, so let's just go ahead, and I want some sort of white border around the woman's face. So for that, what we can do is, okay, so another very important feature in the segmentation in this box is that if you just click on person, it will lead you to another inspector panel. And there are options such as edge softness, mask size, and if you just reduce it, it would just make the effect more blur or more sharp. So I kind of like how it is now, and if you want to increase the mask size, it becomes something like this. So there's now sort of a white background around, and you can see that the background works good on the face. Okay, so let's go ahead and try on different models. Yeah, so you see there's this woman, and she has the face filter, there's the UFO. But one thing is that we don't have a particular background color that appears as the border. So what we'll do is, let's click on this canvas and add another rectangle. And again, we'll ask it to fill width and fill height. And we'll take a material and we'll make it white. It's already white. We'll just change it to flat so that the white pops out. And we'll try and put this. Okay. So now what has happened is that everything works. It's good. But the person here has only one segmentation. So that's why the girl is appearing as white. So for this, we need another person segmentation. And where do we go? Yeah, there's camera. And we click on, again, on the segmentation, and we click on this person. And the segmentation has appeared, and we'll just write it person 2. Okay. Okay, so what we do is we click on alpha and we select person 2 and we click on invert. Yes. So now you can see that there's a particular white border around the girl, and it's not only her camera background. So the camera background is entirely gone and there's only this white border that is left in the background. Okay. So let's try and make this background animated. So you must have seen how the animation filters are so popular on Instagram, Facebook, etc. And it's not actually very difficult to make it. So let's just try. For this I'll just pick another model so that we know how good it works on different models. That is the best feature about Spark AI. Okay. So I'll just drag the scene panel a little bit above, and there's a little plus sign here. We'll click on that. So there are options such as script, playback controller, animation sequence, etc. So I'll just click on animation sequence, and you can see there's an animation sequence asset that has been created. Okay. So if we want the background to be animated, we cannot exactly put an animated video in the background. We need to convert the video into separate specific images so that Spark here runs the images on loop and we feel like there's an animation going on in the background. So for that, I have my animation sequence. What I'll do is I'll just click on texture here. I'll select new texture. So I have about like 10 backgrounds, 10 to 8 to 10 backgrounds that I want to run on loop so as to create an animation. So what I'll do is I'll just click on the first one and I'll hold shift and click on the last one and click on open. Okay. So now there are 8 frames in total and the animation sequence has been made. We cannot exactly see the animation sequence as of now because we already have a background here. So what we'll do is we'll just go to rectangle 2, which is the galactic rectangle. We'll click on the materials and in the texture option, we'll select the drop down and there would be an option for animation sequence. Yes, that's right. So now you can see the animation sequence works, but I feel it's going too fast. So what I'll do is I'll just reduce the frames per second and I'll just make it, let's say, 10 or even 8. Okay. So now you can see there's an animation background, there's a white border, there's a 3D object on top of her head that is animating, and there is a face filter on the face. This is kind of a very, you can see a very wholesome filter because it has a lot of lot of interactions and effects happening at once. So you can even select on the randomize option so that if you don't want anything to follow in sequence, it would just bring up random frames from the animation. That is even more creative. Okay. So yeah, I think that is a good effect that we made today. And I hope you learned about this patch editor, and we learned about the animation sequence, and we learned how to import 3D objects in the scene, etc. No. So sometimes what happens is that when we are trying and making an effect and we put as many interactions, as many elements and features in the same panel, in the assets. So Spark AR, as I said yesterday, Spark AR only allows 4 MB of your AR proj should be of 4 MB and not exceed that limit, because if it exceeds, it won't be able to run on the mobile camera. So let's just see if uh, our file sizes meet the requirements. Okay, so to check that, we will just click on the publish button, and we'll just see that okay. So our effect here is of 3.17 MB, 2.56 MB, and 2.71 MB in iOS, Android, and older Android. So that is still less than 4 MB, so which means we can publish it. So I mean, then why not add little something more interactive, or maybe how about we add some music to the background? So let's just try and add a little bit of music. So for that, we will go and search the asset library. We will go for music and sound. And you can see there are a lot of sounds and musics available. You can also import your own MP3 files from online. But for that, you need to convert it to a particular format known as M4A. So why not let's try something okay, so let's just try and take it from here. So I'm not sure if this is going to be audible to you or not, but okay. So this is a 14-second. Okay, it's a 14-second music, and I feel this is decent enough to match the effect. And I'll just import it. Okay. So now we have audio here. An audio asset has been created. So we'll just click on this. I'm not sure if the audio would be able to reach you or not, but I'm still going to just tell you how to do it. So you click on this audio, the audio file is here. So for the audio to play, what we need is something called a audio playback controller. Okay, so under playback controllers, we have an audio playback controller, and we're going to click on the audio here and select the audio that we have just imported. So we'll click on play and we'll click on loop, but you will see that there is still no music in the background, and that is because we don't have a speaker yet in the scene panel. So we click on the plus button and we search for what we say a speaker, and we click on it. Okay, so it is unsupported, so we just need to edit the platforms here. Wait. Okay, let's try and see if the speaker works now. Okay, yeah. So now we'll just insert the speaker and we select the speaker. There is an option called audio, and we go and select the audio playback controller. Okay. So I'm not sure if you can hear it, but it works for me. And you can edit the volume, you can increase it, keep it low, etc. Okay. So yeah, I guess that is how you make a very interactive and easy AR effect. Now to publish it, what we do, as I had said yesterday, we just click on the publish button. We see if the textures are being compressed and we can just upload. But before using, it is always a good practice to test it on device. So I'm just going to send it to my Instagram. Okay. Because the file sizes are a bit heavy, so it may take some time to upload it to Instagram, but it is not going to take more than like 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. So I have it on my Instagram, and what I'll do is I'll just show you how the notification appears. Just a second. Okay. So you can see that I'm not sure if you're able to see, but there's an option called your effect has been exported. Try it here. So what I'll do is I'll just click on the preview and select the see the camera. Okay. All right. I'm not sure why the speaker won't work, but okay. But I'll just show you how the effect is. And that's how easy you can make with your AR filter. But we still have a bit of a glitch with the speaker and we have to fix it. Okay, so we have reduced the volume here. So maybe that is why I can't hear the music. I'm just going to refresh it again and it will send the effect link again to Instagram. Yeah, okay, all right. Okay, okay. So if you can see now the speaker, the volume, the music works in the background. So yes, that is how you make your AR effect. And what you all you have to do is go ahead and publish it. I'll just yeah, you will just upload it. Just upload to Spark AR Hub. Okay. So now Spark AR Hub has opened. Yes. So I had mentioned this yesterday. I'll just quickly run through it again. To upload your AR effect, you need to give it a unique name. You need to specify the platforms where your effect should be available. Do you have any specific platform for it? Maybe Messenger, Instagram, Facebook, etc. You need to select the audience. Do you only want selective people to use your filter or everyone? There are your owner is here, the platforms where you're editing that is here. You need to select categories as to how what your AR effect is based on. Is it immersive, world AR, games, selfies, etc.? You can add your keywords here. The keywords are very important because that is how they allow you, the user, to search your effect. So example, if you don't add appropriate keywords related to your filter might not be available when the user searches it. You need to add a demo video here. As I just made a video, small video of this, and I can just add it here to create a thumbnail. And you just have to click on submit, and Spark AR will upload your effect, review it, and if the policies match with your AR effect, it is going to publish it within a few hours to few days. Okay. So after it has been submitted, what you need to do is, okay, so what you need to do is just go ahead and click on the effect, which is these are some of my effects which are already available. I'll just click on this, and you can, once your effect is has been accepted, it has been submitted. So instead of the test link, you can share, copy and share the original link of this effect. So you can copy the effect ID, owner ID, because these are very important aspects, and people usually don't get it as to where they should find the effect ID and owner ID, because these are very necessary when it comes to plagiarisms and other effects. If someone tries to do some harm or makes any other content with your effect, and it is a very important factor of this. So I guess, yes, that is it. This is how you will make your effect, and I hope you understood what I was trying to portray. If you have any doubts, feel free to contact me. You can type your questions here, that is also fine. So yeah, so thank you, and I hope you had a good workshop, and I hope to see you all again. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I hope what Shani has taught today will make sense, and you will all create your own AR effects. We would be sending the recordings of both the days to you, and along with the submission link. And we are looking forward to have your amazing AR effects with us. Thank you so much for joining us today. In case anyone has a question, please feel free to post it in the chat. Shani, I don't see any questions coming in, so let's wrap up the day.
Sure, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Atan.
Thank you, ma'am.